Hello, and welcome once again to the Skeptic Sidekick, where we interestingly discuss topics and really get to know one another. How are you doing tonight, everybody? I'm doing fine. I'm sorry, I sound like a complete utter idiot, but what do you know?
You're
Tonight, with
channeling
me,
Mr. Rogers.
would you be my neighbor? With me tonight is, of course, my co-host and favorite sibling, Kimber Rodriguez.
Hey, how are you?
Doing fine. I would normally go on such a grandiose scale, but it's uh, you know, kind of an old hat, but you're my favorite sibling.
Yes, I know. Plus, there's only so many compliments you can give a person.
Yes,
Yes. So what's new
without
with
repeating
you?
yourself.
Right? So what's new with you?
Just working, 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 sleeping, 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 working, 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 sleeping, sleeping, sleeping.
Sound like me.
Yeah. But tonight we get to talk about one of my favorite topics.
Yes. Um, Before we get into the topic, there was a couple of things that I wanted to discuss. First of all, I had a an instance the other night that was very interesting. I came in here to my dining area where I've been recording lately
Mm-hmm.
and turned on the light and I saw
The
like
party
this,
wasn't over?
I don't know, I saw this out of the, I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me or what, but when I turned on the light, I was looking down and I thought I saw kind of like that smoke that I was telling you about the other day,
Mm-hmm.
or close to the floor. And I almost got the feeling like it was a cat.
A cat.
The cat coming in to say hello. It's
Okay.
the way that it moved was kind of like, the way a cat moves when they're like they rub up against you and then they kind of curve their body to turn and look at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it kind of was. So I just found that very interesting and wanted to share that. Um, Also, I know there was something else that I wanted to discuss tonight. Let me see if I can find it again. Talk amongst yourself. Tell us about you and what's new with you while I look this up.
Well, I've been let's see, I've just been working. I actually been doing a lot of research on this topic of the hollow earth. Hopefully, I got some interesting people that will comment, like, share, and even join our Facebook group, which if you're on an Apple podcast or any other YouTube, that sort of thing, be sure to rate, love us, and give us some constructive criticism. And on Apple Podcasts, we do require 5 stars. That's one, two, three, four, five, 5 stars. And for all of you out there that really would like to make a comment, we'll read your comment on the air. Don't matter if you're telling us that we suck, but then of course we would like you to be honest, straightforward, and nice about it. So, again, 5 stars.
Yes. Now I remember what I wanted to discuss.
Ready to be an e-commerce pioneer?
Sorry about that. What I wanted to discuss
Oh,
was
what was that?
what did you like to know?
Yes, I would.
It was YouTube. I accidentally clicked on a video. I did not mean to.
Okay.
But what I wanted to discuss was in the group that I'm in for one of our friendly podcasts that we follow, the Ghostly podcast, in their group Ghostly Society, there was a post that was made from a YouTube video where Chris Angel debunks all mind readers and psychics, saying that all of them are false. So I just kind of wanted to see your thoughts on that and, what you think of Chris Angel and his new claim that everyone is fake.
Well, Chris Angel's a fake. No, seriously, he's a very good magician, but because I do follow magicians, I've gone back and every trick that any great magician does can be broken down to the simple tricks that they teach you in the those little cheap magician's kits. So yeah, I even know how he does his dangerous stunts.
Yes, basically from what I'm getting, I haven't watched the full video yet, but my
And
understanding,
if you've ever seen the remake of the Fright Night movie, David Tennant's character is a parody of Chris Angel.
yes, I love his character in that movie. Um, but you know, the way I say it, I haven't watched the whole video yet, but I'm pretty sure he's probably trying to say that because he knows these tricks of magic that he can point out the tricks that these people use to do their readings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm not going to say that all psychics are true because I know there are some charlatans out there, but growing up with our mother, growing up with you, I can definitely say that they're not all fakes. I
Yeah,
have,
I'll even say that my favorite illusionists slash escape artists slash magicians, Penn Jillette and Teller, are fakes as well. They even admit themselves that we're
Mhm.
fakes. Yes, we are magicians.
Yes, magicians are fake, but that doesn't mean that all psychics are fake. Like I
No.
said, I know some amazing psychics. I grew up with my mother and with you, and I saw what you both could do. And that was not a trick by no means. I mean, but I would love to know what other people think. If people watching or listening think that, all psychics are fakes, let us know in the comments below, or you can join our Facebook group, as you mentioned earlier, and you can give us your comments there. I'll post something about it. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic then.
Again, tonight's topic is one of my favorite theories and discussions. Basically, we're going to be talking about the hollow earth. Now, most scientists believe that the earth has three layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. Nothing else. But what if I told you that there are certain experts that believe that there is a world inside of our world? And, uh, sorry,
But you're fine.
it, with its own sun and body of water. What if I told you that there are entrances to this location, both in the North Pole, the South Pole, as well as parts of Asia, North and South America? What would you say to that, my friend? Welcome
Well,
to the theory of the hollow earth.
no, I know that there are the caverns and the caves that run, below us.
Mm-hmm.
That no, I don't know if the hollow earth goes into what is beneath those caverns and those caves, or if it includes those caverns and the caves. But I know like there's a like here in the United States, all the caverns and caves are theoretically connected to one another beneath the ground and beneath our feet. Does this hollow earth go deeper than
Yes. In fact, the caves and caverns are actually rumored to be entrances to this hollow earth.
Hmm, tell me more.
All right. Well, in ancient times, many cultures and tribes believed in this underworld. It all goes back to the Babylonians and the early Mesopotamians practices. The Greeks, of course, had the land of Hades. In Hindu mythology, the underworld is referred to as Patsagoda, I think.
Katana.
Yeah. In the Bengali version of the Hindu epic Ramayana, it's been depicted how Rama and taken,
Lakshama.
Lakshama were taken by the king of underworld, and Ahithra, brother of the demon king Ravenia, Later,
Uravana.
they were rescued by Helaman.
Yes, I'm sorry. I know your part there is a little hard to read with the background. I apologize. It's my job to make sure that this is legible for him. And I failed this week, so please, my apologies.
Yes.
Now, the Angami Naga tribes of India claim that their ancestors emerged in ancient times from a subterranean land that was inside the earth. The Taino from Cuba believe that their ancestors emerged at ancient times from two caves in a mountain underground. Then we have the Celts of ancient Ireland. Now, is it Celts or Celts? Tomato,
Yes.
tomato.
Tomato.
So they believed that there were caves that led the underground world of a supernatural race that was known as Tuatha De Danann.
Yep.
This was also known as the tribe of the goddess. I mean, heck, even Alexander the Great journeyed to the underworld in hopes of conquering it. But taking all that information as being myths, we wonder who actually did propose this theory that there really is a hollow earth. This came from Sir Edmund Halley.
Yes.
Also the same man who discovered the Halley's Comet. And he came up with this theory way back in 1692. Dyscalculia. 1692. His notion was supposed to be disproven by two men, however. First, there was Pierre Bourget, a French mathematician in 17... Yes. He was a French mathematician in 1740. And then Charles Hutton, an English mathematician and surveyor who in 1774 determined that the mean density of the Earth made this impossible.
Now the mantle was taken up again by an American by the name of Captain John Cleves Smythe Jr. Now, interesting about him, he wasn't his father. He was named after his uncle, John Cleves Sims Jr., because the uncle had no other kids. Sims gained attention in the early 19th century for his lectures and writings prompting the theory of a hollow Earth. He proposed that the Earth consisted of several concentric spheres with habitable environments contained within. Sims claimed that they were entrances to the North and South Pole, throughout of which one could enter this inner world.
His ideas attracted both supporters and skeptics. And Sims sought funding for an expedition to explore the polar regions to prove his theory. However, he did face difficulties securing financial backing and encountered criticism from the scientific community, which largely dismissed the idea as unfounded and only speculation.
They poo-pooed it.
Which, I mean, come on, if think about it. Okay, I speculate this is this. I want to prove this is this. So I need to go there. I mean, how else are you going to prove it without exploring it and examining it?
Yep.
Sounds to me like somebody just didn't want to take the time to look at
Nobody
it.
wanted to give him money.
So despite the lack of scientific support, he continued to advocate for his theory until his death in 1829. Now, while he did not achieve his legacy during his lifetime, it did live on in the form of continued interest in this theory of the hollow earth. And this was, among fringe groups and enthusiasts, or as some people out there like to say, conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
Yes. His name is often associated with the early popularization of the hollow earth concept, although he was not the first to propose such a theory. Nevertheless, his effort contributed to the enduring fascination with the idea of hidden worlds beneath the Earth's surface.
Now, also to reiterate, the fact of his tombstone, where he is buried, he actually has a 3D map of what the Hollow Earth would have looked like.
Interesting. I'll see if I can find something like that and
Yeah.
post it in our group for people to check out and see that.
Now, Smythe Jr. proposed a theory suggesting that the Earth is hollow and it contains an interior spaces suitable for habitation. Some key points of this theory include canonic spheres. Smythe believed that the Earth was composed of multiple characters spheres with habitable regions and contained within. These spheres were thought to be separated by empty spaces or voids. Polar openings. Sim also argued that there were large openings in the North and South poles, leading us into the interior of the hollow Earth. He suggested there are openings could be accessed for exploration and colonization. The interior environment. Now, according to Smiths, the interior of the Earth was not only hollow, but also contained its own atmosphere, oceans, and environmentals. It could support life, potentially, and including the undiscovered civilizations. Scientific inquiry on that, Sims advocated for the scientific exploration of the polar regions in confirming his theory. He sought support and funding for expeditions to investigate. The openings, however, at the poles explored the supposed theory of the Earth's interior. Now, overall, his theory of a hollow Earth was based on the idea of a vast unexplored world hidden beneath the Earth's surface.
Now we get on to James Norman Reynolds, who was also referred to as J.N. Reynolds. He was an American journalist and explorer who lived during the 19th century. He is best known for his involvement in the exploration of the polar regions and his association with the concept of the hollow Earth. He did gain prominence through his writings and explorations, particularly with the United States exploring expedition, which was between 1838 and 1842. This was also known as the Wilkes expedition because it was led by Charles Wilkes, not Wilkes. Reynolds served as a correspondent for the New York Press during this expedition, providing vivid accounts of the journey and its discoveries. One of Reynolds' significant contributions to exploration was his promotion of the hollow Earth theory. He collaborated with John Clevis Simmons Jr., who had proposed the idea of a hollow Earth with the openings at the poles. Reynolds did help popularize Sims' theories with his writings, and he included articles and a series of letters that were published to the New York newspaper, known at the time as the New York Mirror.
Now, Reynolds' advocacy for the hollow Earth theory was contributed with his engaging writing style and the association with the Wilkes expedition contributed for their widespread interest in the concept during the 19th century. However, like Smythes, Reynolds was faced with skepticism from the scientific community, which largely regarded the hollow earth theory as an unfounded speculation. While Reynolds is best known for his promotion of the hollow earth, he also made significant contributions to journalism and exploration through his repairing and writings on various expeditions and adventures. Now, in 1864, one of my favorite top 10 writers, I would say he's number 3 or 4, Jules Verne, wrote Journey to the Center of the Earth. Of course, it is one of my favorite books. In this book, it follows the adventures of Professor Otto Unveil and his nephew Axel, and their guide Harris Hans Belka, as they embark upon a daring expedition for exploring in the depths of the Earth. The story begins when Professor Leidenbrock discovers an ancient manuscript that contains coded instructions on how to reach the center of the Earth. With Axel's help, the professor deciphers the messages and determines that the Earth must begin in its Iceland. The trio set out for the expedition, traveling to Iceland and descending to the depth of a volcano called We're
We're not even going to try to
No, I'm
pronounce that one.
sorry
Sorry.
for bastardizing Icelandic language there. But as the journey deepens into the earth, they encounter various abstracts and obstacles, as well as the marvels, including the underground seas, prehistoric creatures, and the strange geological formations. The journey there, the characters face numerous of challenges, including the perilous descent to the menacing caverns and encounters with fossilized creatures. Despite these obstacles, they press on with their quest to make in the center of the earth. Ultimately, spoiler warning, travelers reach a vast underground chamber at the Earth's core, where they witness a spectacular natural phenomenon.
No.
After exploring these wonders of the subterranean world, they eventually find a way to return to the surface, completing their extraordinary venture.
Sorry, that was supposed to be do 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 because
I know,
you said phenomenon.
Do.
The At the Earth's Core series is a collection of novels that were written by Edgar Rice Burroughs. He is the renowned author of Tarzan,
as well as the John Carter series
John Carter.
of Mars.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was, for some reason, my brain went to John Wick and I was like, no, that
No.
doesn't sound right. I
No.
gotcha. The At the Earth's Core series does consist of 7 novels that explore a fantastical world that is located at the Earth's core. It is filled with prehistoric creatures, exotic civilizations, and daring adventures. The first book was published in 1914. There were several theorists and authors during the 19th and 20th century who discussed the Hollow Earth. What we would like to talk now about is a series of articles written in Amazing Stories, which was published by Hugo Gernsback.
Which everybody, which science fiction enthusiasts know that Hugo Gernsback was the man in which the Hugo Awards were named after.
Interesting. Between 1945 and 1949, editor Ray Palmer ran a series of articles called the Shaver Mysteries. Also, Richard Sharp Shaver states in these stories that both Palmer and Shaver claim that these stories are true. But the Shaver Mysteries revolve around a fantastical narrative involving ancient underground civilizations, advanced technology, and cosmic conflicts. Shaver explained that he had experienced telepathic communication with ancient beings that lived in caverns beneath the Earth's surface, and he called them the Darrows. These were detrimental robots. And then there were also the Pteros, which were integral robots. Now, according to Shaver, the Pteros were malevolent, and they used advanced technology to torment humanity, while the Pteros were benevolent beings, and they sought to protect humans from the Pteros.
Now, Shaver's stories depicted a hidden world beneath the earth populated by these two ancient civilizations, with the Darrows manipulating events on the surface and causing various disasters and calamities, while the Taros, on the other hand, were depicted as the allies of humanity, working to counteract the influences of the Darrows. The Shaver mysteries gained a significant Halloween
Following.
following. Why does it say Halloween? I don't know. The Shaver mysteries gained a significant following amongst the readers of amazing stories and sparked a widespread speculation and debate. Some readers embraced the Shaver stories on revelations of the hidden truths, while others dismissed it as being more of an imaginative fiction or outright hoaxes.
Now, what were the amazing stories?
Amazing Stories was a pulp magazine back during I believe from the early part of the 20th century, maybe 1925, on up to the early 1949. It was Steven Spielberg took the inspiration of the amazing stories and made a television show that only lasted maybe 1.5 seasons.
That was my next question. Was that based on those stories from then? Because I remember we used to watch that show pretty religiously when it came out.
Yeah, no. Also to know the fact that Richard Shaver did spend some time in a mental institution, so this could be he was a little bit of crazy, but then of course he could have been not a crazy, and they put him in the way anyway.
Maybe they put him in because he knew too much and they were trying to
Maybe.
silence him.
Now we also go to Admiral Richard E. Byrd. He was the gentleman who discovered the North Pole, as well as the South Pole. Now, his involvement in the Hollow Earth is often regarded as a legend or a piece of speculative fiction, other than the historical fact. However, it has gained a traction in certain circles, particularly among the proponents of the conspiracy theorists and alternate histories. The core of this legend involves around the Admiral Byrd's alleged expedition to the North and South Poles in the early part of the 20th century, during which he purposefully made contact with the advanced civilization living within the Hollow Earth.
According to the legend, Byrd's supposed diary or journal entries recount encounters with a highly advanced and technological superior civilization that dwelled within the interior of the earth. These beings, often described as descendants of the ancient civilizations such as Atlantis or even Lemuria, and they migrated to the Hollow Earth to escape cataclysms on the surface.
Now, we've actually discussed Atlantis previously briefly when we discussed Edward Casey, but Atlantis and Lemuria will probably be a future episode.
In the future.
Yes. Please continue.
Yes. So they migrated to the Hollow Earth to get away from the cataclysms of the surface. And there are very many supposed locations that could possibly be entrances to this inner world. These are often based on mythological or anecdotal accounts And again, some of these include the North Pole and the South Pole. The North being one of the most famous theories, that it does have an entrance, has roots in early myth and legends about a polar opening that led to a hidden world. Proponents suggest that the shifting of ice and magnetic anomalies in the Arctic region support the existence of such an interest to be there. Now, with the South Pole, some say that it's believed that the entrance to the world could be located there because, again, based on mythological traditions and speculative interpretations of polar geography.
All right. We also look at Mount Shasta in California. Mount Shasta is in Northern California, has been associated with various mystical and esoteric beliefs, including the idea that the entrance to the Hollow Earth. Some people claim and have had spiritual paranormal experiences near Mount Shasta and suggest that they may conceal a passage to the inner Earth. Now, the Tibetan Plateau is often called the root of the Earth. It's been suggested as the possible location for the entrance to the Hollow Earth. This idea is sometimes connected to the Tibetan Buddhist mythology and the concept of Shambhala, a hidden kingdom said to exist in the Himalayas. Other remote or inaccessible locations, in addition to these specific locations, various other remote have been unearthed proposed as potential entrances to the Hollow Earth. These include the deep ocean trenches, remote deserts, and unexpected wilderness areas.
Unexplored wilderness areas.
Unexplored wilderness areas.
So I guess that would be like somewhere like maybe in the Congo or something like that, where, we haven't really explored a lot. While the hollow earth theory is generally considered pseudo-scientific,
Pseudoscientific.
and lacking
Pseudoscientific.
and lacking empirical evidence, there are still
Empirical evidence. Come on, Scott, get it right.
there are still individuals and groups who continue to advocate for or believe in the concept. Modern beliefs regarding the hollow earth vary widely. However, here are some common themes and perspectives. We do have the New Age and esoteric beliefs, which I would like to talk more about in a future episode.
Future episode!
The esoteric records and all of that. As some individuals within this New Age and esoteric communities do embrace the idea of a hollow earth as being part of their spiritual and or metaphysical beliefs. They may view the earth as interior, as a mystical realm, inhabited by the advanced beings or the ascended masters.
That'd be another great topic to do in the future.
Yes.
Ascended masters.
Then we have the conspiracy theories, as I mentioned before. And that has been incorporated into various theories, which often involve claims of secret government knowledge and or cover-ups, which is, like I said, that one gentleman that you mentioned, I think it was Shraver, being put into a mental institution.
Yes.
Him knowing too much would fall into that secret,
Right.
conspiracy.
It also goes into the some people believe underground bases.
Yes. Which was what I was going to say next, is that government agencies or elite groups are aware of the existence of this and that they're hiding it from the public, and that they do have bases down there.
Now, alternative science is a small number of individuals who advocate for the hollow earth theory from the perspective of the alternate science, of course, suggesting that the mainstream scientific understanding may be incomplete or flawed. They may propose alternative models of the Earth's structural based on the unconventional interpretations of the geological data or phenomenon.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Phenomenon.
Do-do-do-do.
Literature and pop culture. The concept of the hollow earth continues to be explored in the literature, film, and other forms of popular culture. While they're often presented as fictional or speculative, these works contribute to the and ongoing fascination of with this idea of the hidden world beneath the Earth's surface. Tourism and adventurers. Some tourism companies offer expeditions or tours for locations associated with the Hollow Earth, such as purported entrances to the North and South Poles. These trips are often appeal to individuals interested in the adventures and the explorations. Now, here, starting with the current run, are famous movies that deal with the Hollow Earth theory. Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021. While not being entirely focused on the Hollow Earth, the film prominently features the concept. These characters journey into the Hollow Earth to uncover its secrets. 2008, Brandon Fraser's movie, the film based on the classic novel, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Disney also did a version of that as well, which follows a group of explorers as they venture deep into the Earth's crust and encounter various wonders and dangers.
Then we also have Kong Skull Island in 2017. Now, while primarily a King Kong film, it does introduce the elements of a hollow earth, not a hello earth, but a hollow earth.
Hello, Earth.
Hello earth. The island where Kong resides is depicted as being a lost world within the Earth's surface. We also have the core way back in 2003, already 20 years ago.
21.
And, well, depending on when it came out.
Summer 2023. I mean,
Yeah.
2003. So it's been about a year and 6 months.
Now, while not explicitly about the Hollow Earth, the sci-fi disaster film involves a group of scientists who travel to the Earth's core to restart its nuclear devices. To restart it using nuclear devices. Then we have At the Earth's Core in 1976. When I was born, so 40 some odd years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this was based on the novel by Edgar Rice Burroughs. It does depict adventurers who use a drilling machine to journey into the Earth's core to discover a prehistoric world. Then we have the mole people, which is another thing that we could talk about at some time.
You don't want to talk about the mole people.
The mole people that live in the subways. We got to talk about the mole people.
Uh-huh. Just like the alligators living in the sewers.
We got the mole people in the subways, the alligators in the sewers. I'm telling you. Poor New York.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, there was a movie called The Mole People back in 1956. It is a classic B movie, and it features archaeologists who discover an underground civilization as they are exploring deep within the earth. Now, overall, while the belief in the hollow earth does remain in the fringes of mainstream thought, it persists in various forms with certain subcultures and communities. Despite the lack of scientific evidence, this concept does continue to captivate the imagination and inspire speculation about what mysteries might lie beneath the Earth's surface. Which kind of makes me think, like, we're taught that the Earth's core is made of like this hot molten
magma.
Well, we have the magma, and then we have the core, which is like, just hot rock. How do we know this? Nobody's actually ever drilled that far into the earth. So I would say that's just another theory. So who's to say that this theory is right and this theory is wrong? But now we ask you, the viewers and our listeners, what are your thoughts? Do you believe a hollow earth exists, or is it just something that was made up for science fiction? Let us know in the comments or in our group Skeptic Psychic on Facebook. What do you think, Rick? Do you believe in a hollow earth?
Uh, Kind of, sort of. I mean, we have too many stories dealing with the mythos uh and legends passed down through the generations. I mean, why would every single culture back in the old days have a story behind the hollow earth? I mean, even Christianity has the heavens which are up in the skies, and heck, down below uh down below the surface. So who's to say that there's not a such thing? Uh as for the entrances to the North and South Poles, or the Tibetan Peninsula, or in the deep uh areas of Argentina, who knows? Honestly, I kind of sort of do believe that there may be a hollow earth.
I can kind of see it as well. I mean, growing up, we were fortunate enough that our parents took us to the caverns to, kind of explore. We went to Inner Space Cavern, we went to Natural Bridge Cavern, we went to,
The caverns of Sonora. We
I
went
never been to
to
that
the.
one.
You've been to that
Got
one.
to go. I went to that one. I don't remember that one. I must have been really little. But Carl
That
Cavern,
Yes, we went twice.
uh, yes.
You were in the nursery the first time that we went.
Yes, the first time I was too little to go, so I had to be in the nursery. But the second time, mom and our stepdad Don took us back, and we went through it when I was in junior high. And
Yeah,
I,
Dad and Papa said they couldn't put you in the kennel, so
I
it
was
was
told
much
I was put in
cheaper.
this. I was told I was put in the kennel. Mom told me I was in the nursery, but Dad and Papa always swore I was in the kennel because
Yes.
they didn't want to pay for the nursery. The kennel was cheaper. But growing up and going through those caverns, and I've always been fascinated by them, and this beautiful area that exists under our feet. And
Yeah.
as I mentioned before, these caverns are supposed to go on throughout, they're connected throughout the US, and there's caves and caverns all over the world. And they even have
Yeah.
these caverns where there's like nobody has been able to get to the bottom of them because they just keep going and going. So to me, that right there could be proof of that being a hollow earth. What do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the things on my bucket list is actually to go into Mammoth Cave.
That would be cool. Yeah, I've always been fascinated by caves and caverns, and so I've
Hmm.
always wanted to go and travel and check out more of them. Um, but that for this week concludes our episode on the hollow earth.
Remember, boys and girls, we require 5 stars. 5 stars is a good thing. Remember this? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. I, ich, ni, san, chi, yo, loco.
Yes, if you're listening to our podcast um through Apple Podcasts, we do ask for 5 stars, or wherever you can rate us, we do ask for that. Ask also if you're able to leave a review, we do ask for reviews. We do read them on air if we ever get them. We're still waiting for them. Please review us. We need reviews.
We love you. We really, really do.
Yes, and next week we will go back into, we will take a step away from mythology and go back into the spookiness, which I'm really excited about because you all know that's my favorite thing to discuss is the spookiness. Um, and that will be, now that we're doing it every other week, that'll be 2 weeks from now. So I'm really excited about that. I won't tell you what it's about because then, I want you to listen in so you can find out.
They did a
Anything
movie about it. Let's just say that.
They did a really bad movie about it.
Really
Let's just say
cheesy.
that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll talk about later on that episode why it's so long, but I don't want to give too much away. But anything else you want to share before we end tonight's episode?
Uh, that this we're probably going to be putting this article up on our website, the Skeptic Sidekick, and join us over there. Get to take a look at some of the articles we've written and the blog posts.
Which article are we going to be putting up there?
This one, the Hollow Earth.
Oh, you want me to put it up as a blog?
Yeah,
Okay, I will do that. And with that, we bid you adieu.
I do.
Have a wonderful evening and sweet dreams, everybody.
And unpleasant nightmares. Good
Good night.
night.